welcome back to my channel. I'm Zosha Jadal. If you didn't fucking know, so today you guys, we're gonna be talking about a really important topic. We're going to be talking about ego self versus spirit self. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at the differences between those two and how operating from either of those spaces will affect you, your life, and your behavior. Okay, so you guys, just to let you know the differences between the ego and the spirit. Okay, the ego is who you are, in the flesh, the persona that you put on to survive out in this world. You can become, pompous and egotistical depending on, your upbringing, your social and financial, economical status, and all these different things have a huge part to play in, the way that your ego, the level of ego, okay, that you're in, okay, as opposed to your spirit self, which, your spirit self is actually the true you. It's the you that God created you to be. It's the you that you are at your core. It's the you that you are, when you were a little kid, before you started to encounter the world. Okay, so it's you really that lives inside of this vessel. Okay, when someone operates out of the ego, they can be very very pompous, very rude, very selfish, very egotistical. Okay, you operate, most of the times you're operating actually from the lower chakras. Yeah guys, you're more apt to be like self-absorbed and things like that, more vain. You operate from the root chakra, so you're more like sex driven and materialistic and different things like that. Yeah guys, and when you're in your spirit self, you actually operate from a different place, a different chakra. You actually operate from the sacral chakra up. So imagine it just as like dividing your body in half. Okay, where are you operating from? Are you operating from your higher chakras, or are you operating from the lower chakras? Okay, the lower chakras, you're operating from a vain space. Your consciousness should not be in your groin. You feel me? So if your consciousness is in the sacral chakra, which gives you empowerment, if it's in the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and of course third eye chakra, you guys are operating out of your spirit self. If you're operating from anything lower than that, you are operating in your ego self. Okay, being egotistical or operating in your ego self it actually comes from being tainted out in the world. It can come from your parents, it can come from the way you're brought up, it can come from childhood trauma, it can come from, it can actually even come from success, because sometimes, we become so financially stable and, wealthy, financially rich, that we think that we are better than other people, and that's not the case, you guys. Okay, your bank account does not determine your self-worth. All right, so if you think that because you have $1 million in the bank that makes you better than someone, that's not okay. You know what I mean? Some people they really shun like homeless people and stuff like that, and that's not okay to do. Yeah guys, the way that you want to curb operating from your ego self, okay, your egotistical self, okay, is to practice meditation, practice prayer, practice, like I told you guys in one of the previous videos, how to remain in God's light. I think it was the video or two before this. That's what you want to practice, okay, so that you remain in God's light and you remain operating from your spirit self as opposed to from the ego self. We don't want to operate from the ego, because when you operate from the ego too much, okay, that will cause you to descend from heaven. Okay, you'll be stuck here on planet Earth when God comes for the rest of his people. You stay here. Okay, so the more that you operate from your ego self, you hinder your chances of returning to the kingdom of heaven, which is what we want. Okay, like I always tell you guys, like, nobody's perfect. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm never gonna come on here and pretend like I'm perfect. Okay, And none of us are perfect. The only perfect one is the creator of all things, which is God, okay? Um, so if you think in your mind that you're better than someone and you find yourself shunning other people, it's okay to, have self-pride, have good self-worth, be financially stable, be ambitious, be wealthy. Like all these things are like really beautiful, right? In life. These are great because, financial stability provides comfort in life, okay? So we're not gonna sit here and act like, we don't need, certain things out of life or desire, okay? That's fine. But don't make an idol out of it to the point where you feel like now, since you have these things, you're a completely different being and you're better than anyone else. Your skin color, your financial and economic status, the place, neighborhood that you live in, wherever you were raised, different things, that does not make you better than anyone else. There's no one person on earth that's better than anyone else. Yeah, girl. The goal, okay, is to remain more in your spirit self, but it's okay to be a little bit egotistical, and I'll tell you why, okay? Operating from your spirit self will keep you vibing high, okay? You're vibing, when we say vibing high, we mean from the sacral chakra up, okay? Any of the upper chakras, okay? We want to be vibing high. We want to be up here, okay, guys? But you also need to operate from the ego space at least a little bit, because when it comes time to setting boundaries and keeping them intact, and enforcing them with others, we need to operate from the ego space a little bit. We need to operate from the ego space sometimes. So you need to learn to actually have a balance between your spirit self and your ego self, okay? Everything in life is duality, you guys. So always remember that, without darkness, the light cannot exist, okay? Without death, we do not know the true meaning of life. You understand? So, without sorrow and heartbreak, we do not enjoy happiness and love, okay, the way that we would without, first feeling those emotions. The first person that you dated in high school, that, the first heartbreak that you suffered, most of times is not going to be the person that you're going to marry, okay, when you're a little bit older in life. So, these are the type of things that we must remember, okay? Everything in life is duality. So without one, we can't have the other. Without the spirit, we actually cannot have the ego. So, you are first the spirit. So don't get so caught up and lost in your ego thinking that that's who you are and getting lost over there without returning to one true self, okay? Like I told you guys before, you need to be doing like self-reflection like every night, okay? So that you make sure that, even if, you get a little bit pompous and big-headed during the day, come the fuck back down to reality and remain in your space, in your seat, okay? In your pineal gland is your seat, okay? So, there are certain successes and things like that that, might blow your head up a little bit, you know what I mean? I notice this among a lot of brothers and sisters that, especially when they come from humble beginnings and then they experience a better things in life, they just don't know how to fucking act. And I'm like, dude, that's not the real you. That, you're being a fucking jackass right now just because you won the lottery and got a new car. Just as God giveth, he can taketh away, okay? Just because you're beautiful, physically beautiful, that doesn't make you better than anyone else. That doesn't give you the right to look over across the room at someone else and say, oh my God, ella está fea. Yeah, that doesn't give you the right to look across the room and, say out loud or even think in your mind, oh my God, they're so ugly, they're so poor. You know what I mean? Like, that's really fucked up, you guys. And I want to make a point too, when you operate too much from the ego self, this is what causes bullying and different things like that. Because, I've had people attempt to fucking showboat in front of me, not knowing, where I even come from or what I have, okay? But they attempt to showboat in front of me, which is like just, showing off what they think they have over me. And to be honest with you guys, like I really don't give a shit. Um, you know what I mean? Like you don't know where someone comes from. Just because I may seem and appear humble to you, or not me personally, but someone, just because someone may seem humble and appear humble to you, that doesn't mean they don't come from like money, okay? And I'll tell you something too. Most people that come from a well-off background, we know how to treat others, okay? It's the ones that come from a impoverished background and then they accomplish something in life. Now they feel like, they get really pompous and they think that they're better than people and they treat other people like shit, okay? So don't look across the room and think that you're judging someone, because you really don't know people's upbringings, their backgrounds. You don't know anything about anybody. And, like I was saying before, not because you feel like you have something, whether it be it beauty, finances, or, whatever the case is, a husband, a wife, don't look across the room and laugh or shun someone else, because just as God giveth, God taketh, God can taketh away. I experience this a lot, you guys, to tell you the truth, and it's really sad. It's really, really sad, the things that I hear people saying, not only about me, and they think that I can't hear them, or they think that I can't understand them because they're speaking in another language, which is not cool, okay? I experience, people bad talking other people or even gossiping about other people, and I'm just like, why do you think that you're better than someone else? Like, you really need to get out of your ego, okay? So yeah, you guys, you do need that duality, especially when it comes to setting your boundaries, okay guys? But I want you to find a happy balance between the spirit self and the ego self, because it's really important. We do need both, okay? I will say that we do need both, because without me being in my ego a little bit, I wouldn't know that, hey, I don't deserve that type of treatment. I deserve actually better, and I'm not gonna fucking accept that. So, fuck you, okay? But yeah, guys. But maintaining your spiritual integrity, okay, is most important, is key, okay, before you even attempt to set boundaries and, do other things that are of the ego, okay? Pretty much that's all I have to say on the topic. I really hope that this helps. If you guys have any questions or anything, please leave them in the comments below. I think that I covered everything that I want to talk about on the topic, ego versus spirit self. Remember to comment a hibiscus emoji if you guys made it this far in the video. I love you so much for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye.